I'm Edward Martinez, the President of the Academic Senate, and just to sort of, I guess, set the tone, I just want you to know and be aware that this is an open forum. It's not a debate, but that doesn't mean that you can't ask some tough questions if you're moved to do so. So we are going to have a very brief presentation by, I'm not sure if it's 2 speakers or 3, but certainly Roger Marheine from the Faculty Association. And I don't know if Dr. Rocha, will you want to give a word?
I'll say a word.
A word, all right. And then also Lyle Engeldinger, the Dean of Human Resources. And again, the focus here is on the faculty contract. So, and if you want to ask me questions, I'll be glad to answer questions from the Senate perspective as well. So don't hesitate, but remember this is a dialogue, okay? So I'm going to invite Roger to please come up and say a word.
Good afternoon. I guess it's 12 o'clock, not 11 o'clock. Welcome everyone, and we've had a FA meeting about a week and a half ago that had a fairly good turnout, so I think a lot of the faculty have already heard what I'm going to have to say, but excuse my redundancy. I think that this round of negotiations this round was probably the best we've had in years, but also a very difficult one. It was a long, slow grind. And in that respect, it was a process, and we had slightly new terms in the negotiations. In the past, we did not have an outside attorney. The administration brought in an outside attorney, a professional negotiator, and that changed some of the terms of our discussions. But having said that, I think that we did achieve good steps forward, and yet we're not done yet. We're not completed. We have a few of our negotiation team here, and I just want to introduce them. And I just realized 2 things. I want to apologize to Wendy Johnson and Dan Haley. They both indicated they did not get ballots for the vote back a couple of weeks ago. The vote was 197 to 13 in favor of ratification, so I apologize to both of you. But our team, a few of our team are here, and I just want to review them really quickly. First of all, Suzanne Anderson and Preston Rose were our co-leaders. And Suzanne's knowledge of the union is second to none. She has been a union leader for a decade and continues to know more about the union from top to bottom, from negotiations, contract, grievance, the audit, all the union mechanisms that we do. She was the past president for 4 years, and she is extremely valuable. Our co-leader this time around in negotiations was Preston Rose. He's unable to be here today. He's a part-timer. He's the vice president of the union, and he has made enormous contributions in the area of part-timer issues. Preston really is an expert in terms of this part-timer situation around the state among community colleges. He brings that kind of expertise to all our negotiations. We rely on him heavily to author the initial statements about part-timer issues, and we're really happy to have him. I see Julie Kiotis over at the table. There's Julie. And Julie is probably taking on more grievance these days than anyone else in the union. We tend to split the grievance duties up, but Julie really knows the contract. She also is a number cruncher, and she was our main spokesperson on the issues of large group instruction and class size issues. And so we're very fortunate to have her. Danny Hammond is there. He's from the CEC, and Danny consistently represents the CEC very well. Without him, we would be in the dark on a lot of the issues and concerns for the CEC, and I really want to thank Danny for consistently bringing those issues forward. He also is a number cruncher and has done a lot of work on the current budget, particularly at the college. Jane Hallinger is in the back, and I would say Jane's even though she has been here, I think Jane and I go back about 26 years, and it was the first time Jane was on the negotiating team. And I think that one of her tasks, at least she proved very worthy of it, is that she would consistently keep the attorney for the administration, Bruce Barsaw's feet to the fire. She was very good at calling him out. And she did it in a friendly way, but also in a firm way. So thank you, Jane. We have other members who are not here: Krista Walter, Martha Bonilla, Bernie Rodriguez, Tony Juge, and I think that's our team. So I'd like to say that the overall negotiations, I think, concluded well. We have two concerns, and we voiced them in yesterday, particularly the Senate meeting, just before the Senate meeting. One is the issue of the retirees and their right to work and at a rate of pay that has been the past practice. And we're working on the final contract language. We have not actually signed off on that. And so those are two issues and obstacles we need to address. So with that, I'm going to close, and so thank you very much.
First of all, I thank you to Roger. Okay, I think we had a historic turning point in labor management relations here at the college. It were a very tough, fair negotiation, but where we made the shift was in a shift from a zero-sum, win-lose kind of approach to a more interest-based partner kind of approach. And that's my goal, and I think that's the goal of the trustees in the district. A couple things, and then I'll just leave it. Lyle and Dave, who are on the negotiating team, can answer the questions. What I had envisioned was an opportunity today and ongoing for what I call contract information. Because once you have a tentative agreement, you know, you have it on a piece of paper, but then what you have to do is actually disseminate the information so that, in this case, faculty of the PCCFA can understand what's in it and can understand what their, if you will, what's in it for you. So I think this is the start of that, and just the fact of this meeting, I think, is big progress. But I want to make this point, and then I'll let it go. It is absolutely my experience in the past, my belief now, and my moving in the future, that we cannot be a successful college, we will not be a successful college, unless we continue what we've continued and move to labor management partnership. Okay. You cannot run a college successfully unless labor and management are partners in the enterprise, because things are changing so quickly, as you can see. I was a Teamster when being a Teamster meant you were on a loading dock of a truck platform. Okay, so, you know, and when, in moving forward, in fact, in the last few years, I was working with Marheine Durasso, who is the executive director of the American Federation of Labor, on a living wage agreement for hotel workers and so on. So I want to make clear, there's two models for labor management relations. One is the odious model that is occurring in Wisconsin right now. All right, that is the wrong way to go. All right, it is absolutely ruinous to put that, you know, to put your labor management kind of relationship in that way. We're not going to go in that direction. The other model was an interesting conference in Colorado, in Denver, not too long ago, in which the union, the faculty union in this case, and the district were working together in this partnership. We started that. We have, you know, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So I think we've made a good step on that. And the final thing I want to say is not really about the contract itself, but really what a contract is for. Our core business, if you will, we don't make cars, you know, we don't, you know, do any of the number of things that we do in the offices. Our core business is teaching and learning. That's it. Everything else is either support or secondary to that. And that teaching and learning must occur in a space. It must occur in a space like this, a real space, or it can sometimes occur in a virtual space. And what I think that we have here in this contract, and in our continuing work, is to try and get the focus on that, is what is best for teaching and learning, and supporting the faculty. Because the new partnership has to be about how can we work together so that the faculty have the support they need to be the most effective teacher you can possibly be, in order to make the student outcomes that we all share happen. So I think we made a good start on that, and so just open up to questions, and my colleagues Lyle and Dave will be able to answer some of the ins and outs of what's actually on the piece of paper there. So thank you, and thank you to Roger.
Okay, so as more people have trickled in, I just want to push my sticky note agenda one more time. For those of you who weren't here, these are on your tables along with pens, so that if there's something that you want to have recorded as part of this meeting, but you don't have the moment to say it, just stick it on the easels before you leave. Questions or concerns, that's very self-explanatory. It's probably what brought you here. Suggestions, broadly defined. Suggestions for the forum, suggestions for the college, suggestions for Roger's tie. I don't know if you're open to that, but nothing. And then, it's beautiful, I love it. And bright spots, anything that's going on campus that you feel that we should know about. So with that being said, that's just, since I know a lot of people will be coming in late and leaving early, it's a way for us to capture as many voices as possible. Does somebody have a question? And I will just kind of ask you, who's your question for? Roger or Lyle or Dave? And then they can decide whether they want to stand up and answer you or how they want to do it.